whack from Vanity Fair. Now they've been trashed by stand-up comedian John Mulaney and in front of a whole heap of Hollywood elites. So who was there and what happened?
Well, Ben Affleck was there, Tina Fey was there, so real Hollywood A-list. What happened is that he's got a new show in Netflix. These were the sort of up the fronts for Netflix announcing the new shows about to come out. He's got this chat show. He's sort of describing what the show is like, that it's a little bit vague, but he makes the point, and this is really critical because this is in front of a whole lot of Netflix execs. He says, not since Harry and Meghan has Netflix given more money to someone without a specific plan. Basically, that just shows what a laughingstock Harry and Meghan are in America. For this guy to rip into other Netflix talent, because of course they're still on the books with Netflix. They've still got Meghan's show about to come out in March too. So to have been so brutal and so much bravado, not only in front of, you know, the elite of Hollywood, but in front of those Netflix executives, speaks volumes about how they're regarded in America.
Absolutely, and if that wasn't enough, randomly, Piers Morgan and Tucker Carlson had a sit down with each other in the Middle East. There's a lot to unpack just there in that concept itself, but they did talk about the Sussexes, unsurprisingly, and this is what they had to say.
Meghan Markle does not represent black people in the United States. I don't know if you knew that.
No question she doesn't. Don't worry, I'm very familiar. She doesn't represent anybody.
Of course
other
not.
Other than a very elite, hypocritical group of people who are really going to go down in history as the most hypocritical group of people ever.
And the most incompetent. Like, they don't know how the power grid works. They can't fix a car. They don't know anything. They're totally useless. They're parasites. And when given the chance to rule, they, like, wrecked the country because they don't know how to do anything.
Now, Louise, we know Piers, well, he's had plenty to say about the Sussexes, but what's your view on this particular insight by Tucker regarding Meghan? Or both of them, but he was quite pointed.
He was quite pointed. Look, I see this as a real stinging rebuke for Meghan because she has championed her sort of biracial status. You know, she's often said in sort of columns or in interviews, you know, my father is Caucasian, my mother is African American. She went to Nigeria, of course, with Harry, and she's very proud of her sort of racial heritage. So to be called out by Tucker Carlson and Piers as well, two of the most, you know, diabolical commentators in the sense that their reach is far and wide, it is very bad for Meghan because that's often a topic which you can't discuss. I mean, I know people who live in California who say you cannot even mention anything around Black Americans or Black Lives Matters and sort of cast a disparaging comment towards Meghan because you'll be cancelled. So I found it absolutely fascinating to watch the two of them pick her apart and say she doesn't represent Black American people, when of course she probably feels that she does.
And Angela, have you got any other views on that? Like for two big commentators like that, like Louise referred to say something like that, you know, on top of the pile of everything else that he's said, you know, it does make things a bit more difficult.
Look, I agree with Louise wholeheartedly, but I also think we have to keep in mind that Piers Morgan does bring a bit of a backstory to this. He, of course, very early on in the relationship with Meghan and Harry, he had previously met Meghan. That had a get together in London, so he's always had an axe to grind with her. So that doesn't surprise me, but it's a pretty powerful thing to have said.
Absolutely.
Welcome back to Meghan and Harry Tales, where we cut through the noise and expose the truth behind the relentless attacks on the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Today, we're tackling the latest nonsense spewed by none other than Tucker Carlson and his best buddy in bitterness, Piers Morgan. Yes, folks, in their latest desperate attempt to stay relevant, these two middle-aged outrage merchants found themselves in Saudi Arabia of all places, swapping grievances about Donald Trump, power dynamics, and somehow Meghan Markle. Because, of course, what's a conversation between two right-wing media personalities without bringing up Meghan, right? Meghan Markle is once again facing public scrutiny. The Duchess of Sussex, who has been a focal point of media attention since her relationship with Prince Harry became public, finds herself under the microscope yet again. Despite stepping back from royal duties and moving to the United States, the relentless spotlight continues to follow her. This time, it comes from media personalities Tucker Carlson and Piers Morgan. Both have been vocal critics of Meghan, often using their platforms to question her motives and integrity. Their latest comments have reignited debates and brought Meghan back into the centre of public discourse. Their comments rehash tired narratives about race and gender. These narratives are not new. They are part of a long-standing tradition of scrutinising women, especially women of colour, in the public eye. The media often perpetuates stereotypes and biases, making it difficult for these women to share their truths without facing backlash. They attempt to diminish Meghan's experiences and silence her voice. By questioning her authenticity and intentions, they undermine her efforts to speak out on issues that matter to her, such as mental health, racial equality, and women's rights. Meghan's determination to use her platform for positive change is met with resistance from those who prefer the status quo. These attacks are not isolated incidents. They are part of a broader pattern of criticism that Meghan has faced since joining the royal family. From tabloid headlines to social media trolls, the scrutiny has been relentless and often unfounded. This pattern reflects a deeper societal issue that goes beyond Meghan herself. They are part of a larger pattern of hostility directed at women of colour, particularly black women who dare to challenge the status quo. This hostility is evident in various sectors, from politics to entertainment, where women of colour are often held to higher standards and face harsher criticism than their white counterparts. This scrutiny is often amplified when women rise to positions of visibility and influence. The more visible they become, the more they are subjected to public judgment and media attacks. This phenomenon discourages many from stepping into the spotlight, fearing the inevitable backlash. The attacks against Meghan are a stark reminder of the deeply ingrained biases that persist in our society. These biases are not just personal prejudices, but are embedded in our institutions and media practices. They shape public perception and influence how stories are told and received. They highlight the urgent need for continued dialogue and action to dismantle these harmful systems of oppression. Addressing these issues requires a collective effort to challenge and change the narratives that perpetuate inequality. It calls for solidarity and support for those who speak out against injustice, ensuring that their voices are heard and respected. Tucker Carlson's recent comments about Meghan Markle's racial identity have sparked significant controversy and debate. These comments are a stark example of white privilege in action, highlighting the ongoing issues of race and identity in our society. Carlson attempts to dictate how Meghan should identify racially, a move that is both presumptuous and problematic. This is a common tactic used to undermine the experiences of biracial and multiracial individuals who often face unique challenges in navigating their identities. By trying to control the narrative, Carlson and others like him seek to erase the complexities and richness of these identities, reducing them to simplistic and inaccurate labels. Carlson's assertions are not only factually inaccurate, but also deeply offensive, reflecting a broader societal issue. They reveal a dangerous lack of understanding of the nuances of race and identity, and a refusal to engage with these complexities in a meaningful way. By questioning Meghan's blackness, Carlson exposes a deep-seated discomfort with the very existence of biracial individuals, a discomfort that is rooted in ignorance and prejudice. This discomfort stems from a worldview that seeks to maintain a binary understanding of race, one that ultimately upholds white supremacy and resists the inclusion of more diverse and nuanced perspectives. The insistence on a binary racial framework is a relic of a bygone era, yet it continues to influence contemporary discourse and policy, often to the detriment of those who do not fit neatly into these categories. Meghan Markle's experiences as a biracial woman in the public eye highlight the ongoing struggle for recognition and respect faced by many multiracial individuals. Their stories are a testament to the resilience and strength required to navigate a world that frequently seeks to invalidate their identities. As society continues to evolve, it is crucial to challenge and dismantle these outdated notions of race, and to embrace a more inclusive and accurate understanding of identity. Only by doing so can we hope to create a world where everyone is free to define themselves on their own terms, without fear of judgment or erasure. In the end, The fight for racial justice and equality is not just about changing laws and policies, but also about changing hearts and minds. It is about recognizing and celebrating the full spectrum of human experience and ensuring that everyone's story is heard and valued. Piers Morgan's continued attacks on Meghan Markle follow a pattern of misogynistic and racist rhetoric. His comments are often steeped in harmful stereotypes about black women. He paints Meghan as angry, aggressive, and manipulative. These tropes are deeply rooted in a history of racism and sexism. Morgan's attacks are particularly egregious given his platform and influence. As a prominent media figure, his words have the power to shape public opinion. By repeatedly targeting Meghan with his vitriol, he contributes to a culture of hostility and disrespect towards black women. Section 4. Meghan's platform, speaking truth to power. Meghan Markle has emerged as a powerful voice in the fight against systemic injustices. Her journey from actress to Duchess of Sussex has been marked by her unwavering commitment to advocacy and social justice. Meghan Markle has consistently used her platform to speak out against racism and misogyny. She has not shied away from addressing these deeply ingrained issues, often drawing from her own life experiences to highlight the pervasive nature of discrimination. Her speeches and public appearances are not just about raising awareness, but also about calling for tangible change. She has shared her personal experiences with eloquence and vulnerability. Whether discussing the challenges she faced as a biracial woman or the scrutiny she endured in the public eye, Meghan's words resonate with authenticity and courage. Her ability to articulate her struggles and triumphs has made her a relatable figure to many who face similar adversities. She has challenged the systems of power that perpetuate inequality and injustice. By aligning herself with various social justice causes, Meghan has shown that she is not just a figurehead, but an active participant in the fight for equality. Her involvement in protests and social justice events underscores her dedication to dismantling oppressive structures. Her voice has resonated with millions around the world, particularly those who have faced similar forms of discrimination. Meghan's advocacy has provided a sense of validation and hope to many who feel marginalized. Her ability to connect with diverse audiences has amplified the impact of her message, making her a beacon of hope for those striving for a more inclusive society. Meghan's advocacy work is a testament to her courage and her commitment to creating a more just and equitable world. Her efforts extend beyond speeches and public appearances. She actively engages with community leaders and participates in initiatives aimed at fostering social change. Her hands-on approach to advocacy demonstrates her genuine commitment to the causes she champions. She refuses to be silenced or intimidated by those who seek to diminish her experiences. Despite facing intense scrutiny and backlash, Meghan remains steadfast in her mission. Her resilience in the face of adversity serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of standing up for one's beliefs, even when it is difficult. Her willingness to speak truth to power, even in the face of intense backlash, is an inspiration to us all. Meghan Markle's journey is a testament to the impact one individual can have when they choose to use their voice for good. Her story encourages us to confront injustices and advocate for a world where everyone is treated with dignity and respect. Section 5. Systemic silencing. Meghan's experience in context. Meghan Markle's experiences are not unique. They reflect a broader pattern of systemic racism and sexism that seeks to silence and marginalize women of colour. This silencing can take many forms, from subtle microaggressions to overt acts of discrimination and violence. Black women, in particular, are often subjected to a specific form of intersectional oppression that combines racism and sexism. This intersectionality creates a unique set of challenges and barriers that can be particularly difficult to navigate. That's it for today's episode of Meghan and Harry Tales. If you love what we do here, make sure to like, subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode. And remember, when they go low, Meghan keeps soaring high. See you next time.